A Mexican citizen has earned the ability to visit the United States in order to attend her son's funeral. Her son was actually a person who was protected under DACA and drove 100 miles to the Houston area in order to help volunteer in saving victims of Hurricane Harvey. Now, unfortunately, while he was volunteering, the boat that he was on capsized and he did drown, and it's really a tragic story. So that's 31-year-old Alonso Guillen, and he came to the country when he was just a teenager, and he was protected under DACA. However, about 48 hours prior to Trump announcing that he would end DACA, he was found dead, and it's just a tragic story. So Guillen was born in Piedras Negras, Mexico area, and he moved to the United States under the shelter of DACA. He has been living in Texas ever since he was a teenager. Now, just to give you an idea of what exactly happened when their boat capsized, they were on their way to an apartment complex near the Interstate 45 and Beltway 8 when the hurricane struck the bridge over the creek that capsized Wednesday. Search crews went looking for Alonso after they went missing. His body was discovered on Friday. And to make the story even more tragic, people who discovered his body were his family members. They suspected the area that he would be found in, and they kept their eye on the murky waters in that area, and his body did wash up. And they found him. So his mother did want to come to the United States to visit and to, of course, attend his funeral. But she was initially rejected by Border Patrol agents. And after this story became a huge national story, luckily, the US government did give her permission to come and go to the funeral.
So Alonso, as with almost every dreamer, was employed. And this was not necessarily his fight. And he lives in Texas, but 100 miles away. And because he's an incredible guy, decided, hey, look, I'm gonna go get a boat. These guys are flooded and they need help. And he went to go help. And you know, when we saw those pictures, I think all Americans, and it didn't matter what your politics were moved by whether it was police or firefighters or just regular citizens going to help those people to make sure they didn't drown. Remember the little old lady stuck in the nursing home with the water all the way up, and they were desperate for help, and people came and helped them. And Alonso was one of those guys, and he died doing so. And if he had stayed alive, in about 6 months, Donald Trump would have deported him. So now you can say, oh, you don't know that with perfect precision, because he might not have had his status be upturned within the 6 month period, and he just might have been deported a little past 6 months. You think that's relevant?
Yeah.
You think that's the relevant part of the story?
And who knows, maybe Congress for once in their lives would actually do something positive and vote on some sort of immigration reform that would help. That's the argument that I'm seeing from a lot of Trump supporters. Well, he's not deporting people right now. I mean, he's giving Congress that 6 month period. Yeah, because Congress has been really great in passing any type of legislation or agreeing on any type of policy.
Yeah, and they say, oh, well, no, Obama did it the wrong way. You can't do anything on immigration with executive orders. That's why one of the first things Donald Trump did was ban Muslims from certain countries by executive order on an issue of immigration. So it is not about the rule of law. It's not about being consistent. It's that they don't like guys like Alonso Guillen, and it's not based on whether they're employed, whether they're part of the economy. The federal government gets $60 billion from Dreamers. They contribute over $215 billion to the GDP, and that's according to a right-wing think tank, Cato Institute. So it's not about the money. They pay all their taxes. It's not about that they're bums, because they're all gainfully employed, almost all of them, 97%, either in school or have jobs, including the military.
Some of them are business owners. Some of them provide jobs.
Yeah, and it's not that they're not good enough, as you saw with Alonso, perfectly good enough people. So what is it about? You know what it's about. They're the them, they're the others, and we have to protect us.
Right.
And us is, unfortunately for Trump and his supporters, a racial construct. So they don't care how good a person Alonso was. They had targeted him, and they would have kicked him out. Well, they don't have to, I guess, now. And luckily, there was still a human being left in the federal government who let his mom in after they initially rejected her humanitarian visa.
Right.
So she'll get to attend his funeral. Watch the Young Turks commercial-free, download it or stream it, watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.